Have you ever heard of the is?
The I dot S dot?
It just is. Everything just is, but it's not that is. This is stands for information system or infinity squared. That is the ultimate equation of the universe.
What's infinity squared, dude? What's that mean?
It's creation in action.
No, I mean, what's that mean, infinity squared?
Infinity time infinity, you might want to consider that the universe is dualistic, but essentially it's all creative time. Creation. Time is the creator. Time creates. Time is God.
It's just the concept of squared, though, that's confusing to me because...
Swear?
Squared.
Infinity squared.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking you about it.
But why is it
Well,
confusing?
Because if you have a number and it's times 2, you know what that is, times 3, times 4, infinity is endless.
Because if infinity includes everything,
Right.
what do you gain from squaring?
It sounds more like a poem.
It sounds more.
but
It
that
sounds
is-
more like the use of the English language rather than
poetically.
something actually happening.
Right.
And I think everybody
That's
does
technical.
understand what you mean.
Technical,
That it's
you're
like
right.
equal and
but
opposite.
philosophically, it's different. You understand that there are two universes. The universe is dualistic, and they work together, and that's where you have. If you don't understand infinity squared, do you understand MC squared?
Vaguely. I'm
So
being
you
honest,
don't understand
vaguely.
either. Either you understand it or you don't.
It's because I don't understand why the speed of light would always be constant, so that would be part of not understanding it.
Well,
You
here what
had,
it's.
you had a very interesting way of assimilating the thought.
Oh, right. To me, it sounds like, and what I think people are intuitively getting, the infinite equal and opposite energy creating, facilitating creation, that it's equal and opposite. That's what I hear when I hear you say infinity squared, is that, for infinity, equal and opposite forces are interacting with each other.
Why do we need this duality?
Because it exists.
He's saying tangible and intangible,
Intangible, tangible. You don't have, then you have.
which is a reality.
And they're both infinity.
Right.
But what's the option beyond duality? What's the dual nature of duality?
I don't see
That's a
why you.
joke.
Why? Thank you.
Why would you say duality? You're questioning that idea?
Yes. Why have we leapt to duality? Why isn't it just unity or what's the word? What's the word for three?
Oh, okay.
Why
Why isn't it a
two?
triad? Why is it?
Why not a triad? Why
Why?
not a unit? Why not
Right.
a unad?
What would be
Yeah.
the third thing? Because this
I don't
intangible
know.
is... Huh?
Oh, tangible and intangible. I'm sorry. That sounds like parts of the same thing.
Actual creation is when you're not thinking about the foot that's behind you, and you're not thinking about the foot that's in front of you. It happens
It's happening
in that
now.
instant, and it's surprise. It's you didn't know it was going to happen.
At the speed of time, not the speed of light, the speed of time. Initial consciousness, just at the threshold.
Suddenly a thought comes in.
It's what?
Suddenly a thought comes in, and it's a premonition of creation. You mean that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. Yeah.
Where would that come from?
That's the good question.
So-called
It
God wouldn't know
It
either.
just is. It just is. When
So that's
you
very
go-
unsatisfying.
Because it is now has a different meaning.
Okay, what you want me to do? What you want me to do is take the positive and the negative, dissect it, and hand it to you on silver platter or
it would be more
golden platter.
to try to identify with, as you're doing, the creator, I guess.
Yes.
To identify with the creator and then see the creator as kind of a dunce, then? Because the premonition would come from a place the creator doesn't know where it comes from, is what you're saying.
That's creation. It's God. God is a creation. Therefore, it's inclusive of the premonition.
Yeah, but God doesn't know where creation came from.
God is creation.
My personal experience of making music and being in situation like you can play pieces that you know, pieces that you have learned, or you can be in a state of like a complete improvised performance. The people who can freestyle rhyme, like really ultimately, like they're not thinking ahead of what they're saying, they're actually just spitting out like what's coming through, like you know, the jazz greats always spoke of, like the most amazing moments of making music was almost like it wasn't them, like something came through them and just happened. Well, I experienced that. I make sure that I get a chance to experience that on a regular basis because it's the most beautiful thing that I can, one of the most beautiful things that I can actually say that I experienced.
Oh, the definition would be all of the process then.
Every single thing.
Everything.
But you know,
I
I
don't want to
It's
give
rather
everything
than
to that.
rather than a conscious guide.
It is conscious.
A guide though is separate
No,
from
but
the
this is
process.
Aren't we
idea.
conscious right now?
I could
Yeah.
believe in
Well,
God.
you are part of God, therefore you are conscious, and God is conscious.
Premonition
too.
implies
I'm
it comes-
talking about it yet.
What?
I'm talking about it yet.
Right, but I love this idea though. I could believe in a God that's a dunce. That's a
what
total
it seems
idiot.
like. That's what he's saying, which is kind of appealing to me.
Yeah, no, because no, that is an appealing thought. Because if God
Doesn't
is
know
a
how he
dunce,
got there.
but he has no knowledge
Right.
because he created knowledge.
Right.
So how
Not
can he have
he.
knowledge?
It's
It.
knowledge.
It.
It itself is a community.
You know what I mean. It's a made
It's
up
a-
motto.
You know what I mean. I love that.
Don't blame them.
Back to what
Excuse me, as I said before, please upgrade it that you are the moment. You are not in the moment, you are the moment. That's the highest understanding of your being, where you don't have to say a thing, don't need to think. You have a freedom of your mind. You are a free person in this total fantastic world.
I'm instrumental to totality, but that doesn't mean that a higher power has to govern that.
Oh no, we're
It
not saying
does
that. We're not
cover.
saying that it's governing.
It does
can't-
cover.
well, no. Governing would mean that it was separated from us.
It would be
But it's not
predetermination of
separate.
the governing.
No one's telling you what to. No
Excuse me.
God thing is telling you what to do. It's just doing. It's just kind of all happening. I think that's
No,
what we're
but you know what? It
getting
doesn't
at
matter
on that
because
level.
what just happened right now, observing you two talking about responsibility
Yeah.
or letting go,
Responsible.
or just watching that is a perfect picture of the actual duality that we experience in our lives.
Exactly.
In and out. Like it was smart. It was beautiful. It's like watching the yin and yang.
And what
You're
is the
wearing all black,
difference?
you're wearing all no, it's beautiful.
So,
it was beautiful.
What is
No.
the black and what is the white here? Where is she, where am I in the sphere of the total?
So why call it two?
That's why
Yeah.
it's called universe. Universe, which is one language. When we understand the one language, we will understand each other. Otherwise, we have argumentation, why, and different questions. So we need to understand the basic operation of the universe and how it works in order to move on with our life for the best survival that you mentioned that we can master by understanding rather than being ignorant of the fact that time creates the intangible zero. It is the highest power of the universe. That's the only thing that can create the universe, and that's universe.
I just grabbed creation in action, which is, it kind of continues the conversation in a similar way, except let's maybe instead of talking about creating a piece of art, what about the creation of everything? Go, George.
Go, baby.
Get him
I
one.
want this one.
He wants this one.
May I elaborate on your questions?
Oh.
Which come first?
The chicken or the what?
The thought or the
The
emotion?
thought or
Or the
emotions?
feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
When
which
you
first.
talk about the interaction between the two, what do you suppose the primary drive or your experience? Your instinct first, which dictate the way you think.
But you can never escape yourself. So you close your eyes, you're still there, and all you have are your thoughts.
And that's
you
why
know?
drugs come in good.
Where you may not even
Losing
feel,
drugs.
you can still
Losing
think.
drugs. That's what
Some
you need.
people, there's
That is my motto. There is no escape.
yeah.
No escape.
So we're
No
doomed.
escape.
exists in George picked a card.
Yeah.
I picked a card that says creation in action. And I picked that, if you wouldn't mind putting it back.
Sure.
Creation is action.
Because, for the following reason, we were at that time, and we've come back to it, talking about feelings and thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But those are feelings, those are thoughts. What about action? We had left out action, and there in front of me was a card I could choose that said creation in action. Well, I'm not sure which way it actually goes, if it's creating through action or if it's that you're creating some kind of action. Doesn't matter. That's what got me going, that if we limit ourselves to thinking and feeling, we've missed action.
The creativity in action, or the creativeness in action, I think, this is not going to be the same table it was 5 minutes ago, because we've expelled our energy on it, because it's got dust on it, because it's been exposed to the light for whatever reason, and it's non-stop.
It's simply
Everything is
non-static.
constant.
It's not static. It just keeps going
It
on.
It never ends, and it just kind
And by the way, evolution cannot happen before creation. Creation has to happen first, and evolution
follows.
continues, okay, so it's one and the same.
But they're two different things.
Fine.
Very, very
listen,
different.
No, it's not two different things.
Timing
In your
and
book,
time.
you talked about
It's not.
timing.
It's not two different things. Time creates timing, so therefore they are one and the same.
Well, I don't
And
know, I'm not the same as my
humanity,
kid,
throughout
but-
history, humanity was talking about time more. They talked about money. Every step of the way, it's time. They talk all the time, but it's actually timing.
When you describe the system, just the flowers blooming, then dying and blooming and dying, humans, I feel, are the only organisms that could consciously just try to destroy those systems. It's not as if a dog would just like step on a flower for the sake of stepping on a flower out of spite of it. And then is your own system to like destroy the environment or harm others? Is that the systems acting on the external systems?
Because timing's the thing that allows for creation in action.
Chemical reactions.
So time has no action to it. There is no action in time.
Time
There's
just
only time.
time
But in
just
order
creates.
to
That's it.
in order to have an action, you need timing.
How else would you do it? Show me otherwise.
Right?
Sorta.
Maybe.
In comedy, there's no joke in without timing. There's no joke.
Well, we have, as humans, our relationship to our own insanity, which is the noise in our head that we constantly
Thank you
listen
for
to.
acknowledging.
You know, yeah, it's like we just start listening to this noise in our head, like this noise, and we interpret the noise, you know, as like these things that are personal to us, and it might be step on that flower because it's a flower, right? Yeah, because so the consciousness of the animals, the insects, and the planet itself, they might not be listening to that noise the way that we listen to it.
You know, we humanize our pets, all right? We think, oh, he must feel so guilty. I'm off out raving again. But it's not like that. They don't have that. They don't sit, they're just like, you know, they're timeless. They're in that moment, so they don't have that. Like you said, they're not aware of their own death in the sense, or maybe they are so aware of it because it depends where you live in Africa or what kind of animal you are, but I just don't think they're burdened by guilt and emotions. Like we have all these different...
They're not burdened by language.
Yeah, they're not burdened by something.
So they do have their own languages.
They're not burdened by language.
That's different.
We are burdened, and maybe not just burdened, but our language
is a barrier.
Well, language is our access to being.
Originally, the way I understand it from the Jewish Bible, they talk about a name of God in a certain way. And that certain way comes down to time. So the Jews did know it, whether it's literally or by innate understanding of time as God. We don't know. I mean, it's such a process, but the fact...
Or intervention, we don't know.
But the fact that we can think about it right now, all it is a thought going on between us, interacting. And what is the thought? The eminent base of thought is time.
Or it's also what
Right.
mediates our being, because to me,
Yeah.
that's this is a table, but as soon as we call it a table, it's kind of like we were talking about before. As soon as
Right.
you call it a table, you kind of lost the fact that it's this thing.
It's a ding dong.
Yeah, the language is a lie.
Like if you think about what Laura said, her concept of time is what passes between action to action, and you're kind of questioning like how that might be different than timing. So I think if you're just going through time from action to action without any like intention, then there might not be as much creation unless you're timing it within that allotted time between actions. You know what I mean?
If there's no motion, there's no time.
Yeah, or no action. Intention.
action.
Yeah, like it's time's always there, but the timing allows the creation.
Is
I
time
guess.
always there? That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of it.
Timing is always there.
Timing.
Timing is
But
always
I like that. She just
in
introduced
evidence.
intention.
I like the
intention is an additional idea measure that I guess at least I haven't thought of. Maybe everyone else was on the same
I like that
page.
you brought up intention because it gives a reason for the timing. You know, you can base. You think you know time, but you'll never see. You see the effects of time, and you see where your place is in time. Or you can only direct your intention. It all depends on where you put that energy forward, and keeping the momentum is how you can propel yourself forward.
Is there an end to the rainbow?
Right, exactly. There's no end to the, exactly. I know his answer to this. There's no beginning of the rainbow. There's no end of the rainbow. And really, the rainbow is something they're trying to sell you.
I don't know.
The pot of gold.
That's right.
I don't think that innately we would struggle so hardly and so difficultly and so adamantly if there wasn't something at the end of the rainbow. I mean, maybe because we can see, okay, it's the end of the world, global warming, blah blah blah, but these animals don't know any of that, and yet they're willing to, like you said, kill somebody else's youngborn in order for them to spread their own seed. Why? What is it that's going on in their DNA? Why is that planted there?
Okay.
Do you believe in magic?
All right. I'm just excited to read this one. I would like to compare myself to a zebra when I am a hummingbird.
Nice.
Look at his face.
I'm not sure what it means, so I guess that's why I wanted to read it, because I wanted to see.
What do you suppose it means?
Well,
I have an
She's
idea.
got it.
I have an idea. I don't have a big idea, but I have a little idea.
You got plenty
No, I'm
ideas,
serious.
Patty.
And I know this sounds crazy, but I've heard that zebras are like wild and gnarly, like gnarly.
Yeah,
So,
vicious.
right? What do you know about zebras?
I've heard they're vicious. We think they're cute like horses.
Yes,
but
and they're not.
they'll
right?
cut you.
With that knife, that dagger they keep in their pocket.
I never heard anything bad about zebras.
Oh,
in my life.
wow, you
This is
don't
the
wanna
first time
know.
I've ever heard that zebras
It's
are
bad
vicious
news.
animals.
You can't domesticate them. It's been tried
Could you
many
domesticate
times.
anything?
Yes.
Not even a kid. My kid's not domesticated. So I don't know about domesticating
I mean,
that.
it almost seems like the fact that we're actually talking about this and thinking about it is doing the opposite of what?
Opposite of what? I
We're not being
think
it.
Should we go for a swim?
I think most of it's about. I think most of it's about survival. I think the animals are instinctively trying to survive, whether it's to eat or to procreate. And so whatever comes in between that could be. I mean, they always say that we're the only species that kills, but that's not really true.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. And I mean, so many do, but basically anything that interrupts. But the key is why? Why is it so important for us for our species, all species, to succeed? What is that makes that makes that animal or that human capable of killing to succeed?
I'd rather be vicious, like a zebra, and untamable.
There you go. My glass is half full.
But what's a hummingbird like?
Yeah, I want to know more about hummingbirds. Like, how do
Hummingbirds
they
are also
live?
kind of vicious, actually. Have you ever watched them fight each other over a feeder? No. They will dive bomb each other to the ground.
But did you ever awaken to the sound of street cats at night fighting? They're not really, they're making love. It's a Grateful Dead song. Did you ever awaken to the sound? Anyway, when we perceive a fight, or people or animals that are at each other's throats, might be lovemaking. It's all perception.
I like that. It's just another form of creating a society, of socializing.
But with our perceptions.
But to the hermit, a solitary position would be bliss. You know, there are times where I need to just be alone, and I need to just and where I'd rather be in solitary than to be out and about. You know, but it's a balance of the energy.
That made me think about magic again when we were talking about what is the definition of magic. If you have like a roommate that doesn't put the toilet paper back on the roll, but you do every time. And you're like, do they think there's just a toilet paper fairy? It's magic. Somebody is exercising intention without another person being aware of that intention. I think sometimes that's really what seems magical, especially when you encounter it in the natural world, where it's like, why are those flowers opening up when it's nighttime and closing it? It's just sort of, it seems as though they have intention. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but that seems like where the thoughts about what's magic seem to enter the conversation.
What would be magic is if some of the flowers didn't.
Yeah,
close.
exactly.
Well, it's all consciousness too. I thought that next card over there would be a nice
segue.
Maybe I was eyeing it, and then it just kept happening.
What is the card?
Consciousness is a phenomenon.
The first card said, I am future past.
Yeah.
The second card said, action in creation.
Yes.
So a person is perceiving his past. And a person may go from perceiving his past in the most negative light and eventually begin to perceive his past in a more positive light and say, I needed to go through that to make me the person I am now. And future is, like you guys are saying, it's really nothing. It's all about the present moment, because I'm setting up the future in the present moment. And that's action in creation, because you're creating the force field around you. You really are, with all your thoughts.
I would like to stop you right there. You are not creating the future.
You are.
You are the future.
You are. That's you. You are being.
Yeah. But you are not the one who is really dictating. You are so.
But it is. The Torah. That is one thing the Torah says that people misunderstand. The Torah says, a person is obligated to say, "For my sake, the world is created." So some people could think of that and say, "Oh, so I could cut you off. I could steal from you. I could do whatever the hell I want." And another person has to, that's how some people view it in the society we live in. And some people say, no, I'm here to change this world. And if I don't change this world now in whatever positive way I can, and when we're not going in the right way, it's going to go in the egotistical way.
Are you changing the world right now?
I have done things. I have done things in the past to change the world.
Are you changing the world right now?
I guess we are.
You're enlightening people. You're discussing it.
There's something that you said several times that quite actually it interests me is the I am God, right?
No, not
you
I am God. No, you are in trouble already.
Okay.
Am God.
Am God.
Not I. Forget the I.
Am God.
Scratch the I. Am is what it is.
Am God.
Yes.
Right. The depth of that.
It's what?
The depth of that, to grasp that.
As deep as God, right?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed every time you said it. I was like, okay, that's, you know.
As soon as we understand one word, we understand the universe, you understand yourself, you simply understand. You devoid yourself from any belief system. Belief system is frivolous. It's, I believe this, and that. know this, and that, but you don't know the whole. And that's where understanding comes in. Understanding, standing under, surrendering to your understanding, the total universe to be one with. And you are God. You are as much God as anything else. There's no somebody there up there managing the system, intelligence, what
Well, how do you know?
Huh?
I'm just saying, no one has the answer because when we do, we all evaporate and die.
Excuse me, I am saying there is an answer.
What I'm saying is, though, is that like, I think everyone needs something to believe in, right? And so some people believe that there is. Some people believe that there's a heaven and a hell.
That's the problem.
No, I know. I'm just reiterating that you are your own belief system, right? I don't know about anyone here when they've really needed help, and maybe you prayed, or maybe you. But did anyone ever really feel alone, or did everyone feel like they got the help they needed? Because I felt like I got the help I needed, and not because I believe in a belief system or a religious. I just felt I had an experience. Whether your conscience is your voice, whether what keeps you from stealing and doing bad things is your own. Or is it God? I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm glad it's around. You know what I mean? I don't know. Some people need to believe that there's a heaven and hell because it comforts them to know that there's more than just what they have here. I mean...
Rather than just yourself.
Yeah, I don't know the answers. All I'm saying is who knows the answer to that question.
What I was speaking to is like maybe I had a thought long ago of, you see, you can say, my life, or once you say my life, you have separated yourself from life, right? I'm different from life itself, right? And so that's what I was speaking to, like to actually be life.
Consciousness is a phenomenon.
The fact you get to this point, asking the question,
the card is full.
We're
gonna take a 10-minute break.
Take a break. I'm gonna put this back so we can continue.
I like the way you did that.
That was timing.
Yes. Conscious.
We're going to waste our energy. Brilliance.
Intentional.
Pump your brakes, brilliance.
Hey.
Now it's time to do
Oh
this.
my gosh, ding, that's weird.